If you could remake any movie and star in it, what would it be?
Fisher said Pittsburgh.
Who would you be?
Moses.
You supposed to say that, motherfucking Moses Guthrie on their ass. Ooh, wait. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'd like to welcome y'all inside the GGN News Network. I'm your host with the most, Finding Nemo. Today on my show, I have a mogul, a guru, a CEO, a shark, Mr. Mark Cuban.
What's up, Snoop?
What
Thanks
you
for
doing,
having
Mark?
me.
How you doing, boss?
I'm good. I'm getting better by this. Yeah.
Yeah, you doing real good, man. First of all, I want to give you props. I ain't even going to talk about the basketball thing. I'm going to give you props on the AXS TV.
Thanks.
That network is amazing.
Thank you.
The shows, the commentary, the concerts, amazing.
I appreciate that, man.
And I'm a real fan of it because I asked to be on a couple of shows on that network because I like the conversation piece that they have when it's the one-on-one and then they can let you perform. Great show.
Hey,
Great
we want to
television
feature
network.
music. We want to feature artists. We want to let them have their say. If you got an idea for a show, come on.
Now, don't say that.
I know.
Don't you dare say
You
that.
guys looking for TV distribution?
Yeah, we are.
Are you?
We are. We're looking for TV distribution. We have shows that'll fit your network better than this show. Shows that are more, patterned for your network. But I love your network, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to try to be no cheesy host and try to get a deal on the air and shit, but fuck it, I want a deal.
Let's go.
How else you gonna get a deal if you don't want the deal?
You know what, we were just going through, before I came on here, I was sitting in the car driving out here, going for new ideas for shows for AXS. You just saved me a shitload of time.
I love it. Isn't that kind of like how you bought the Mavericks? Like, you were like...
Fuck it, let's buy it.
Like you was like that guy that was like, you know what, I want him, I'm gonna get him. I don't follow the regular owner manual look, style. You ain't like the regular basketball owner at all.
I was a season ticket holder, and I'm sitting there, and it was the first game of the season, and I'm like, we're undefeated. This place should be packed, you know, it should be fun. And I looked around going, this sucks, right? There was nothing going on. Now, the Mavs sucked at the time too, but I was like, you know what? I can do better than this. And then the light bulb went off. I had just gotten paid, right? Sold my company. I was like, time to put my money where my mouth is. Talked to Mark Aguirre. He's the one, little known fact.
What?
Mark Aguirre is the one who
Before he went to the Pistons? Or?
Yep. He was playing. He's done playing, right? This is January 2000. He's done playing, and he's working for the Mavs. And I'm like, Mark, can you hook me up with the owner, see if he'll sell? He goes, I got you. Set up a meeting. 3 weeks later, it was done.
Oh, wow.
And then Mark was gone. I don't know what happened to him. He was like...
Shout out to Mark Aguirre. He's a big dog, man. First of all, for leaving Dallas, going to win some championships with Detroit, and then coming back to be a coach, and then plugging up Mr. Cuban to get the ownership, and then disappearing in the night.
In the night, he was gone.
Man, Mark Aguirre, you cold-blooded, man. I love Mark. Mark, one of them 80s basketball players, man.
No, he was the first man with a big ass to know how to use it.
He did. He did. He did. He took my championship away from us in L.A. when he went to Detroit. He did that. Adrian Dantley, wasn't that the trade for them too? Yeah. Adrian Dantley came and did nothing. A fat lever came and did nothing. The Mavs got voted the worst professional sports franchise of the 90s. How in the hell did you change that? I know the Chicago Cubs just got over the hump with all that 100 and something years, but the Mavericks was horrible till you took over there.
Man. But it's like, I got there, and I remember walking in, I said, look, this shit's going to change, and if you're going to bust your ass, you'll stay, and if not, I'll trade you. Right? But we had Dirk, we had Steve Nash, we had Michael Finley, and they were just like dying to get out. Well, Dirk had just gotten there, but I'm like, let's go. Let's try to make this work, and they were like, okay. And just that season, we finished out 23-19. Next year, we won 53. Next year, 60, 62. And then, the rest is history.
And then you guys went to a championship first against Shaquille and them, right?
No, yeah, in 2006, them got fucked.
Against Shaquille and Antoine Walker and Dwayne Wade, but to me, y'all fought. But the get back was against.
Oh my God. Yeah, when we got back in 2011.
And they started counting y'all out and started making comments about he's sick and this and that. I know you had to be, because you didn't really say much, and I know you like to, but you just said, man, you let the fellas go to work for you,
Okay,
man.
I'm going to tell you why. So
talk to me.
In 2006, right, we're in Miami. We're up 14 points in the middle of the third quarter, and I'm standing behind the bench, and I'm going, fuck yeah, we're going to sweep these motherfuckers. Right there and then, Udonis Haslem, UD, makes a steal, goes to the bucket. Next trip down, we miss. Fucking Shaquille plows over Eric Dampier. They call the foul on Dampier. Shaquille, who can't hit a fucking free throw to save his life, hits 2. Damn. And all of a sudden, we lost 4 in a row. It was over. It was over. And so when we got to the finals again, they had called us the one and done boys, right? Like, we're going to lose in the first round. And then we get rolling, and I'm like, I remember what happened last time. I'm not saying a word. And so I didn't talk to the media at all, didn't say a word.
But Jason Terry did his motherfucking thing for you.
Yeah, he did.
He did that.
Everybody.
But I like the way he put that.
Oh, yeah, the tattoo. I didn't even know about that until the finals. I'm like, I'm not looking at his biceps, right? I'm not looking.
Come on, Mark. You don't do no shit like that and then make it come true against the king, man.
Unbelievable. And then game 5, he hits his 3 from like 30 feet out.
He took the king down, man. I'm watching as a fan from the house. I'm just telling you, as a fan, you was there and you was all in it. But as a fan, the whole team beat him. But Terry challenged the king, and he knocked the king.
At the right time,
Exactly.
Too. That was the game, right?
Exactly.
Because that put us up like 12 or whatever in game 5. And I'm like, oh. Because I'll tell you another secret, Stu. So game 1, right, where we had lost game 1, game 2, that's what it was, game 2, halftime. They're killing us, right? Killing us. And the way it was back then at Heath's Arena, we'd walk from the bench, and then there's a tunnel that goes straight ahead, goes to their VIP or whatever, and to the left is the locker room. I see Pat Riley. Pat Riley goes to me, Mark, we're too long, we're too fast, we got this. I'm like, fuck you, Pat, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Just in passing, didn't stay, didn't have a conversation, said it, and we come out, right? Fall behind by 15, I think it was, with 5.5 minutes to go, and then, fuck you, Pat Riley.
Walked him down and broke up.
Broke it up, and then it was done.
The big 3. I see that you're doing things outside of the Shark Tank. So is all of your business contained in the Shark Tank, or is there some things that you do outside the Shark Tank?
Oh, yeah, I do. My bigger deals are outside Shark Tank, right? Shark Tank's a great show because it sends a message to kids, parents that you can be an entrepreneur. You can be an entrepreneur like Snoop, you can be an entrepreneur like Mark, you can be like whoever you want to be, you be you, right? It can be any kind of business, but if you see some guy, some woman coming on from the middle of Iowa and they walk up on Shark Tank, and they've got this company that they started out of their basement or out of their garage, and they can turn it into something that inspires.
So, Mark, I understand that you grew up in Pittsburgh, and I am a Steelers fan.
Yeah, I know.
As you can see.
Yep.
You know, I have my 6 rings, courtesy of. So, are you a Steelers fan or are you a Cowboy fan?
I'm a Cowboys fan, but I bleed Steelers.
Because I seen you gave Tony Romo a motherfucking half-day contract.
Tony's my boy.
I thought that was slick. I was like, you know what, Mark Cuban is a bad motherfucker for letting Tony Romo live out his dream as a Dallas Maverick, because he's always been a dedicated fan while he was a Cowboy. What way better than to send him out on a high horse? Because Tony loves basketball, and y'all put him in that environment.
Well, you know how I met Tony? I met Tony this gym where I play ball at. This was 10 years ago now. He was playing, right? And he's good.
He's real good.
He's real good. And I'm like, damn. Well, hey, I'm the backup quarterback for the Cowboys. I haven't played yet, right? But turns out, and then we got Karan Butler on the Mavs, and they're buddies. Turns out they both got named to the All-State Wisconsin basketball team. Karan was Mr. Wisconsin. They both were All-State, and Tony was like runner-up or second runner-up. So Tony can play.
Yeah, his ballers in Wisconsin.
Yep. And so after his whole thing with him retiring, not sure and everything, we were at a dinner that Dirk put on that Tony was at. So it was Dirk's dinner for the 30,000 points that Dirk got. Wow. And Tony was there, they're friends, we're yucking it up. And I'm like, Tony, if you retire, I'm going to give you a 10-day.
Dope. And
Tony's like, done. Right? So we go through it. He wasn't sure if he was going to retire. He thought he was going to go to the Eagles or something, or Carolina. And then that didn't happen. And then I went to the league. I'm like, I want to give this guy a 10-day. He goes, Mark, you can't give him a 10-day. Right? But I'm like, okay, we're going to do something. He's going to be in the layup line, and you can find me or whatever, but we're going to do that, right? And he's not allowed to sit on the bench, so we put him right next to me, right next to the bench, so people who didn't know any better would think he was on the bench. Yeah. And so we said in the fourth quarter, we're going to pretend, right? We're going to freak out the crowd. So we walked him up to coach. And then the whole deal was I'm going to go grab him and come back. Coach is trying to push him in the game, and the refs.
Carlisle?
Yeah.
So he was right along with the
right,
shit.
Yeah, and I'm pulling him back in. And so, yeah, but Tony's cool. He got out there in layup line in halftime too, and he was crushing it. So,
dope.
Yeah, it was fun to have him there.
And I also love Rick Carlisle as a player. I love his story. I love him as a coach. Like, I think he was part of the reason why your franchise turned around. Having somebody like him who, when he came into the league with the Celtics, he had to, you know, fit in and figure it out and get his shit together and became, you know, an all-star player. Now I see what he did with your organization, because in the beginning I was kind of unsure when I was watching him coach. I'm like, I don't know if Carlisle got it, but then when it got to them playoff games and he was out coaching him and Popovich and him and D'Antoni and him, I'm like, he knocking motherfuckers off.
There's a lot to coaching. Like, Rick had won 50-plus games with the Pacers and the Pistons, but he had a rap for not being a great communicator with players.
Right.
And so when we got him in, we're like, we're going to work on that. And because he's smart, right? He knew. And so we worked on it, and he got better and better. But and now it's no problem. But in game, there's nobody better.
The
adjustments he makes are criminal.
I've seen him out-coach some coaches. Like, players play, but if you really understand sports, coaching is a lot of the battle, the preparation. And I've seen him out-coach some of the greatest coaches. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I got to give him a pound up right now.
You know, Pop, greatest coach ever, right?
Always.
You know, and a lot of that is off the court too, right? And so I'll give Coach Pop just props. But in game, one call to make, end of game, I'll take Rick any day.
Right. He gonna draw up the right play, right scenario.
Hey guys, it's Stormy Fronts bringing you the weather from city to city, titty to titty. So this is the weather in Blowhard, Australia, where you blow hard, ladies or guys, you know, whichever way, we don't discriminate. It's really wet, so, you know, maybe have a wet t-shirt contest. You know, it's gonna be rainy, so, you know, really, really wet, you guys. Really wet week this week, so just bring your umbrellas and white t-shirts out for the wet weather.
So back to the Steelers. Who is your favorite Steeler of all time?
Franco Harris.
Why?
Because I remember exactly where I was when he made the immaculate reception.
I don't remember that motherfucking catch. I was a little kid. I just remember the highlights.
I was a little kid too, but I remember.
See the fucking highlights of it, the ball flying in the air and him catching them.
Boom. And plus he played cards with my dad one time, so for me that was like a big deal,
Gangster shit right there.
Yeah.
Motherfucking Steelers. So you was out there in Pittsburgh when they was really, really doing their thing in the 70s, right?
I mean, I used to run around, and so there was a dude named Tunch Ilkin. I went to school at Indiana University, and Tunch Ilkin was a lineman that went to Indiana State. And so he got to Pittsburgh, right after I graduated. I went back for a few months, and he was like, Mark, we're going out. We're going with Jack Lambert, all these Steve Corson, you know, Swan.
Damn.
And I'd watch these guys just go get fucked up. And I had this little Fiat X19, right?
You had the Fiat.
Fix it again, Tony. Right. And so one day, this is no lie, never told this story. It's no one outside, right? It's Pittsburgh. And we used to go to this club, and I walk out of the club. I'd stay, and they picked up my little car and put it up on a hill, carried it up on a hill, and stuck the fucking car up on a hill. And I'm like, oh my God.
Man, that's Fiats was small,
That's
man.
when I knew the steroid era had problems.
Yeah, motherfucker lift the whole car up and steroids is involved. So how did you start your company, the one that you sold to create the money to get the Dallas Mavericks? Give me that story.
Sure. So I'd come down from Indiana. I'd started a company after I got fired from one that was smaller, sold that.
You got fired?
I got fired. I was a sales rep, and I went to close a big deal. I was living 6 guys in a 3-bedroom apartment, sleeping on the floor. We
the struggle is real. Say it, Mark.
Yeah. Power broke, right? And so we would kite checks back and forth to be able to pay the rent. And then I had this deal where I could make a $1,500 commission, right? But part of my job was to open up this software store, sweep the floor, wipe down the windows, get the shit open.
Janitorial work.
Exactly. And so I went to my boss and I said, I'm going to pick up this check. I'm going to make $1,500. He goes, no, you got to open up the store. And I got that covered. He goes, no, you're going to open up the store. I go, I got it. And so I went to pick up the check, brought it back. He fired me. grabbed back the check, went off, started my own little business where we would connect PCs together, and I wrote software, taught myself to write software, and built that up, sold that to CompuServe, and then invested in stocks, whatever, built up some money, and then about 95, beginning of 95, a buddy of mine came to me and go, you know, this internet thing is starting to take off. There's no way to listen to sports on the internet. You got to figure it out. You're the tech geek. You got to figure it out. So I'm like, okay, we'll figure out a way to put audio on the internet. And so that's what we did. And so we started a company called AudioNet, started hooking up the technology, started going to all these different radio stations, teams, and saying, okay, you know, you can't, anything outside of Dallas, anything outside of Pittsburgh, anything outside of wherever, you can't hear it or see it. Right now, we want to be able to listen to like radio around the world. And they're like, cool. And so they gave me the rights to their stuff. And we started with a radio station in Dallas, hooked up an 8-hour VCR, had a server set up in my bedroom, and we connected it to the internet, figured it all out. And I would just go online to different places and say, look, if you're interested in Dallas sports, download this shit and go to this website called AudioNet. Within a month, we had thousands of people downloading a day. And this was like in 1995. And it just got bigger. No one had ever heard of streaming. Then it went from on-demand to live to concerts to games to everything to video. And then we went public during the big internet boom. And it was the biggest IPO in the history of the stock market. And then Yahoo bought us for $5.7 billion and then fucked it up. But
so that was that like during the XM satellite series, like all of that satellite?
All before that. Before they were doing XM, this was like the idea of being able to listen to audio where people were like, what do you do again? Like the internet, audio and video, they had no fucking clue. And people were like, that shit, no one needs that. I got a radio, I got a TV, right? And I'm like, no, you know, this whole audio thing.
Wow.
Before they had Digital Millennium Copyright Act, we used to work with labels. I remember I was talking to Jimmy Iovine, and he goes, and we're trying to get music to put online, and he didn't really know what it was.
He didn't understand at that time.
And so he goes, Mark, forget about that for a second. I want you to listen to this, talk to this dude, Marshall, and listen to this song. And he puts on I Am, you know. And then
Slim Shady?
Yeah, Slim Shady shit, right? And he gets this guy, Marshall, and he goes, call him Eminem.
Wow.
And so that's how we started working with them to get shit on the, streaming on the internet with them. And we know the rest of the history on streaming.
Boy.
Yeah, the only thing that pissed me off is that Yahoo fucked it up so that YouTube could do it and Google could get it, right? Because we owned it. We owned streaming. We had all the content, all the visitors, all the streams, every Pandora.
But you sold control.
Yeah, that's okay, because you know what? I had a choice. What would you do?
I'm taking the money.
Absolutely.
You ain't got to keep going. You ain't got to go into
If I write you billions of dollars,
I'm taking the money, and I'm going to go buy the Mavericks.
Fuck
I'm going to do the AXS TV. Before you know it, I done made a whoop-de-wop, boop-bop, and I may come back and invest in you.
Right.
You understand me?
Yeah, I feel really good about my decision. Pissed me off a little bit, but you know.
How do you feel about the way the media portrays you as far as like not even like a obnoxious owner, but just a different owner? I'll say different because you're not like the regular guy who owns a team who just, sits on the sideline and his family come. You be involved. You talk shit to the other team. And if you try to get a motherfucker to sign with you, don't sign you. Call him all kind of punk motherfuckers. You didn't sign with me. I'm like, Mark Cuban is on the front line with this shit.
Oh yeah. Some of them talk bad too.
I love it.
I just didn't care. Look, I've been a basketball junkie my entire life since I've been 5 years old, and I just get into it. We all have something, right, where you're just like out of control, right? Just super passionate, right? And it's always been basketball for me. I mean, during a game, I'm out of control, right? Those 48 minutes.
Right.
Any other time, I'm like this.
So who was the player that you always wanted to meet that you were able to meet because of the status of you being a team owner?
Dr. J.
Julius Erving?
Yeah, when I was a kid, that was my guy.
He a bad motherfucker. In real life, when you meet him, he is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
So he is all of what you think he is.
So my first All-Star game, I think it was D.C., that I went to, and I got tickets. I owned the team now, right? And I see Dr. J, And I did one of these. I gave my guy a camera. It wasn't even a phone camera. That was a camera. And I'm like, you go stand over there. And I literally have framed in my office a picture of him. It's Dr. J is just standing there and me giving one of these. Before, because I didn't know how he'd react. How he'd react, right? He didn't know who the hell I was, and it was Dr. J. I mean, I almost helped fund the remake of The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh.
Who's gonna redo that movie? I fucking love that movie.
Okay, so.
That movie, Moses Guthrie, if you don't quit playing.
Yes.
With Magic Mona.
Listen. So I actually, and this was 12 years old, it was filmed in Pittsburgh, for real.
It was the shit. They was the Pisces, man. Come on, quit playing, Mark.
And it was that film at the Civic Arena. I snuck in, right, to be one of the extras, didn't get paid, just so I could see Dr. J. So I was there. I was there when they filmed it. And so the little boy, got a hold of me and said, we're going to do this remake, but he couldn't come through with the things that he needed to come through on. So, okay, I'm there.
Actually, I talked to Dr. J about that movie when I finally was able to sit down with him. I said, man, how the fuck did you get that movie? He told me that movie was for Magic Johnson. The dude used to come to the Laker games whenever he used to play against the Lakers and sit in the crowd, and Magic didn't want to do the movie. And he got at Dr. J, and Dr. J did the movie. It's a cold story behind the story.
Always, right? So I'm down. Let's
do that one.
Let's do that.
Oh, I didn't even know you knew about The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh.
Oh, you kidding me?
I got this shit on DVD right now. So you know,
I was there.
We inside the Smoker Studio, everyday people, AKA real nigga shit. I'm gonna ask you some questions and you can answer to the best of your ability.
Okay.
What's the first thing you do or think of when you wake up?
My emails.
Hot or cold?
Hot.
Tacos or burgers?
Burgers.
Steelers or Cowboys?
Steelers.
Ass or titties?
Titties.
What are your favorite pair of shoes of all time?
Sneaks, whatever I got.
What is your favorite cereal of all time?
Lucky Charms, just the marshmallows.
What is your favorite cartoon of all time?
Johnny Bravo.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Hot dogs. In a microwave. Wrapped in paper.
Oscar Mayer, how many times a day do you think about sex?
A lot.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
I worked at a deli and I was cutting ham and I cut off the edge of my finger, so that was my worst job.
If you were stuck on an island for a year and can only listen to 3 albums, what would they be?
Murder Was the Case. I don't know, like albums anymore, right?
You're gonna have to go old school then. You're gonna be on this island for a whole year.
You know what?
Can only listen to 3.
No lie, I couldn't tell you album names anymore.
Wow.
That's embarrassing.
No, that's the truth. That means these albums ain't talking about shit.
Nah, that's not even at all, man. It's just.
You real. You come from the era we come from. Back in the days, you knew the album, the artist, the cover.
No, I know. Like I can think back like when I'm 16, 17, but like
it was
anything
about the album, the cover, the artist.
Like I could tell you, like the first one I bought was Dead Babies by Alice Cooper.
See what I'm
right?
saying?
Creedence Clearwater Revival and the Woodstock movie albums for $3.99.
Those are the albums we taking on the island. That's what we taking with us. If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
I just got into this argument with my son. I took the side of Aquaman, he took the side of Flash because I said that everything underwater was undiscovered. Mm-hmm. And he thinks because Flash can go fast, he can go back in time. I'm like, that shit already happened. And so I'm going with Aquaman, ability to live underwater.
Wow. And you'll be able to live on land as well, right?
Yeah. But
so
like if things get, you know.
That
like
would be your superpower that you...
70% of the world or whatever it is, right, is water. Mm-hmm. And nothing's been discovered, nothing's been established underwater. If we don't fix all this shit in this planet,
that's where we're going to be underwater.
That's where we're going to be.
This part of the show is called Finish the Sentence. I'm going to start it and you finish it.
Uh-huh.
I always wake up.
Horny.
If I could work with anybody dead or alive, I want to work with...
Ted Turner.
If I could see anybody perform dead or alive, I'd want to see...
George Clinton.
I look for blank in a woman.
Attitude.
If I wasn't a boss, I'd be a...
Working to be the boss.
My favorite position is...
Bottom.
My name is Mark Cuban, and I'm a...
Badass motherfucker.
And you do know that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you have been tuned in to the GGN News Network. I'm your host with the most, Finding Nemo. I want to thank my special guest, the CEO, the conglomerate, the icon, the owner, the shark, Mr. Mark Cuban. Thank you, boss.
Oh, man, it was a blast. Thanks.
The boss
that was
would
fun.
like to see you.